Hello everyone, I am Shihara Dias-Bandaranayake, an examiner, a coach and a teacher for drama, English, communication skills and Western music. You are joining with me with my edutainment channel, a channel filled with education and entertainment. So today I am going to talk about the simple past tense. Let's see what this simple past tense is all about. Let's go on to the lesson.
My dear friends and students, if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please do subscribe and get access to a world of entertainment and education related to English and Western music.
Now let's start the lesson. Simple past tense. Now, as soon as you see this word did in a question, you should know that this question is in simple past tense. Okay, right. දැන් මේ did කියන වචනේ දැක්ක ගමන්ම විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ ප්‍රශ්නවල right ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැනගන්න ඕනේ මේ ප්‍රශ්නය simple past tense ඒ කියන්නේ අතීත කාල ක්‍රියාවට අයත් කියලා. Right. Now we'll see about the timeline and the little details that we have to remember, okay, when using this tense, then the table, and then the practical uses of this tense. Right. Now, if you look at this timeline, okay, my timeline එක දිහා හොඳට බලන්න, right? So there's past, present, and future. Okay. So now the simple past tense is mainly used for events, situations and actions, okay, that are one-off. One-off කියන්නේ එකපාරක් වෙච්ච දෙයක් ගැන තමයි කතා කරන්නේ. මේ එකපාරක් වෙච්ච දෙයක් ගැන කතා කරන්න අපි simple past tense එක පාවිච්චි කරනවා. right? එකපාරයි. දැන් මේ එකපාරක් සිද්ධ වෙච්ච දේ මේ කාලයක් පුරා වෙන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක්. right? මේ කාලය ගැන නෙමෙයි කතා කරන්නේ, ක්‍රියාව ගැන විතරයි. okay? So now this action can happen only once, but it can happen during a time period. Okay, for example, last week, I went to somewhere. I went somewhere. Okay, last week. So it happened during a time period, but the action was just a one-off action. Okay, මේ ක්‍රියාව එකපාරයි සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. ඒක තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ මේ simple past tense එක පාවිච්චි කරනකොට. මොකද මොකක් හරි action එකක් මොකක් හරි ක්‍රියාවක් කාලාන්තරයක් තිස්සේ වෙනම නම් ඒකට අපිට වෙනම තියෙනවා වෙනම tenses පාවිච්චි කරන්න. Okay, so you shouldn't get that little confusion. Okay, you should understand that this is a one-off action. It can happen during a time period, but it's a one-off action. one-off කියන්නේ එකපාරක් වෙච්ච දෙයක් ගැන විතරයි කතා කරන්නේ. Now before going on to the simple past tense, I just wanted to talk about regular verbs and irregular verbs. Okay. Now if you're coming for my classes, I have done lengthy lessons about regular verbs and irregular verbs. Okay. But then it's a very simple concept. Okay. You should just understand what's happening here, right? Now, regular verbs refers to the verbs where the pronunciation of the initial syllables of a verb doesn't change in the state of the past tense. ඒ කියන්නේ past tense එක ගත්තාම දැන් අපි ක්‍රියාවක අතීත කාල ක්‍රියාව ගත්තාම ඒකේ ලොකු වෙනසක් නෑ. මෙතන නිකන් ed වගේ එකතු වෙලා තියෙනවා. සමහරක් ඒවට d විතරක් එකතු වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේ බලන්න දැන් ask, asked, hop, hopped. මෙතන p එක ඩබල් වෙලා තියෙනවා. හරි. හැබැයි ed එකතු වෙලා තියෙනවා. jump, jumped, kick, kicked, cry, cried. So the pronunciation has not changed a lot. You see, ask, asked වලට ඔන්න ඒක නිකන් asked ed එකක් විතරක් එකතු වෙලා තියෙනවා. right? But then when it comes to irregular verbs, the pronunciation of the initial syllables, the initial can make පළවෙනි ටික, right? Initial syllables of a verb changes drastically. කියන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙනස් වෙනවා pronunciation එක මේ past tense එකේ. For example, drink, drank. drink, e සද්දේ ඈ වෙනවා. run, ran, ආ සද්දේ ඈ වෙනවා. come, came. Come සද්දේ සද්දේ a සද්දට එනවා. buy, bought. දැන් මේ බලන්න ලොකු වෙනසක් මේ pronunciations වල නේද? spellings වගේම pronunciation ගොඩක් වෙනස් වෙනවා මේ වචනේදී past tense එකට මේ වචනය හරවනකොට. drive, drove. Okay, so that is the difference between regular and irregular verbs. So in regular verbs, the pronunciation doesn't change much. In irregular verbs, the pronunciation changes. Okay, so this is to do with the past tense, right? The past tense verb changes drastically in irregular verbs, and the past tense verb, the pronunciation of the past tense verb changes a very little, or only the last bit changes in regular verbs. So that's the difference between regular and irregular verbs. Right, now let's see about the table of the past tense. Okay, right. Now, so there's positive, negative, and question, and then there are the people here: I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. Okay, right. Now let's see how the past tense works. If we take the verb as drink, okay, the verb is drink, the past tense of the positive sentences goes like this: I drank. Now, I drink is the present tense, then past tense is I drank. You drank. He drank. She drank. It drank. We drank. You drank. And they drank. So it's very easy. හරිම ලේසි. මෙතන I drink වෙනුවට drank කියලා දාන්න තියෙන past tense එක දාන්න තියෙන මේ positive sentence එකේ. Now let's look at the negative sentence. I didn't drink. Can you see the word did coming in the middle here? Okay, I didn't drink. But now see, there's a little thing that you have to remember. Now what is this? Do we say I didn't drank? අපි කියනවාද I didn't drank කියලා? නෑ, මෙතනට past tense එක වැටෙන්නේ නෑ. මෙතනට වැටෙන්නේ අපි අර ගිය සැරේ කිව්වා වගේ present tense පාඩමේ කිව්වා වගේ verb stem එක, right? So what we put in here is the verb stem. We don't say I didn't drank, we say I didn't drink. It's a very common mistake among Sri Lankans to say I didn't drank. Okay, so don't do that. I didn't ask you ne එහෙම කියනවනේ, right? When they talk in English, right? So that is wrong. Okay, so you have to say I didn't drink, you didn't drink, he didn't drink, she didn't drink, it didn't drink, we didn't drink, you didn't drink, they didn't drink. This happens subconsciously. So you have to be a bit careful when you're talking in the negative form of this past tense. Okay. Then the question is, did I drink? Did you drink? Did he drink? Did she drink? Did it drink? Did we drink? Did you drink? Did they drink? Now again, can you look at this? Drink. Drank නෙමෙයි. Did you drank කියලා අහනවා සමහරක් වෙලාවට නේද? එහෙම අහන්නේ නෑ. ඒක වැරදි. Right? Theoretically it's very wrong. Okay, right. Okay, so it's wrong. But then did you drink? එහෙමයි කියන්නේ. Right? Did you drank කියලා කියන්නේ නෑ. So this is also the verb stem. Okay, so you have to remember that the past tense, right? In the past tense, only in the positive that we actually use this verb, okay? The past verb. Otherwise, here we use the verb stem, right? So that you have to remember. Now, these are some simple details that you should remember when using the simple past tense, okay? So, familiarize with the regular and irregular verbs. Now, if you are a student of mine, I've given you a list of regular and irregular verbs and their past tense, isn't it? Okay, so what should you do? You should study them, okay? So in the class, we do a lot of exercises, written, spoken, okay? After doing all of them, right, I'm sure you have mastered the regular and irregular verbs, okay? So you actually have to memorize them. You have to memorize them. There's no way out of it. Right, you have to memorize them, and there are like categories of it and all, right? And I've given all of them to you, so you have to simply memorize it, right? Then the other thing is the negative and question forms, right? in negative and question forms, you have to use the verb stem. That is, I didn't drink, right? And not I didn't drank. Now in the question form, did I drink? Not did I drank. Okay, so that's all that you have to remember in the past tense. Right, now we'll go on to the most interesting part, and that is the uses. Right, now the practical uses of past tense. Now, the past tense is used for one-off past situations with a time indicated. Right, with a time indicated. Right. Now, for example, I went to Colombo yesterday. Now, see, the time is given. Yesterday. My mother made hoppers last week. Now, there's no exact time, but then the action is one-off. Right? එක පාරක් වෙච්ච action එකක් විතරයි. I went to Colombo yesterday. එක පාරයි Colombo ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ ඊයේ. Right? Then my mother made hoppers last week. Right? So I went to Colombo yesterday. Right? So it's a one-off action that happened in the past. Now the next use is expressing a duration in the past with for. Now if you're using the word for, right, you can use the past tense. For example, Gayan lived in a flat for 2 years. Okay, so we'll just assume that this is Gayan. Gayan lived in a flat for 2 years. 2 years. Right. Then we waited for 3 hours for the bus. Right, so with for we can use the past tense. Then the next one is expressing a habit that ended in the past. Now see, a habit can happen for a long time period. Okay, but this habit happened and finished in the past. Right? That is why I said it's a one-off action, but sometimes it can happen during a time period. කාලාන්තරයක් තිස්සේ මේ දේ වෙන්න පුළුවන්, මේ action එක වෙන්න පුළුවන්, මේ ක්‍රියාව සිද්ධ වෙන්න පුළුවන් කාලාන්තරයක් තිස්සේ. හැබැයි ඒක දැන් වෙලා ඉවරයි. එතකොට විතරයි අපිට simple past tense එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. So this little concept you should keep in mind. Okay. So for example, I sucked my thumb when I was little. I sucked my thumb. Now this can happen for about 5 or 6 years or maybe 10 years. But then it happened and finished and now you're not doing it. Okay. So I sucked my thumb when I was little, the whole time duration. Right. But it was a one-off action. Okay. Right. We'll go on to the next use. Right. Past generalizations and habits that are no longer true. Yes. Now, we normally use the simple present tense for generalizations and habits. I hope you can remember last time I told you about that. But then, if they are no longer true, right? මේක ඉදිරියටත් කියන්නේ අදාළ නැත්නම්, right? අපේ පරණ මම කියලා දුන්න මේ generalizations කියන්නේ හැමදාම නේද? ඇත්ත දේවල්. ඒ වගේම habits කියන්නේ හැමදාම අපි කරන දේවල්. right? අපේ පුරුදු. ඒවා ගැන කතා කරන්න අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඕනේ simple present tense එක. ඒ වුණාට ඒවා තව දුරටත් අපිට අදාළ නැත්නම් අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වගේ sentence එකක් කියන්න අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඕනේ simple past tense එක. මේ වගේ එකක්. I didn't like potatoes when I was young. Yes, I didn't like potatoes. ඉතින් මම ඒ කාලේ කැමති නැති දෙයක් ගැනයි මේ කතා කරන්නේ. Okay, that's not me actually. Right. So, I didn't like potatoes when I was young. Okay, so it is a habit of mine. It is a generalization of mine, right? මේක ඇත්තක් ඔන්න මම කැමති නැති එක. ඉතින් මගේ ඇත්තක් නේක නේද? මම කැමති නැත්නම් ඒක කාටවත් කියන්න බෑනේ බොරු කියලා නේ? මම කැමති නැත්නම් මම කැමති නෑ. ඒක ඇත්තක්. Right? And it's a habit නේ. ඒක පුරුද්දක් වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඒක වෙලා ඉවරයි. දැන් ඉදිරියට අදාළ නෑ. දැන් මම කනවා. Now I eat potatoes, right? But in the past I didn't. Right? People hated using smartphones at first. So people hated it. Right? Now definitely it's not the case. Everybody loves to use their smartphones. If they didn't have their smartphones today, oh goodness, isn't it? Right? Life would not be the same. Right. Now let's go on to another interesting part, right? That is the use of past tense in practical dialogues. Okay, so what can you see here? Two aunties talking, isn't it? Right? And of course, they must be talking about something, isn't it? Look at that. We'll see what they're talking about. ඔන්න අපි දැන් මේක අපි කියමු. right? මේක කියවලා බලන්න මේක මේ past tense එකෙන් නේද තියෙන්නේ කියලා. right. Hi, I got to know that you went to New Australia last week. ඔන්න one off action එකක් ගැන කතා කරන්නේ. එක පාරක් සිද්ධ වෙච්ච දෙයක් ගැන කතා කරන්නේ last week. ගිය සතියේ වෙච්ච දෙයක් ගැන කතා කරන්නේ. How was it? Okay, now what you have to remember here is that this is the past tense of verb to be. How is it කියන එකේ past tense එක තමයි how was it කියන එක. ඇත්තටම මේක පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් අපි මේ කරන past tense එකට වඩා. හැබැයි ඒකටම අදාළත්වයක් තියෙන tense එකක් තමයි මේක. right? ඒ ලොකු වෙනසක් නැහැ. right? So just remember that was is past. Okay? Past tense of is. Then let's go on to the next part. Wow! It was simply awesome. It was simply awesome. Okay, past tense. We stayed at the Grand Hotel. We went to see a couple of waterfalls. It was the New Australia season, so there were a lot of people. So this lady must have gone during the season, right? And she had stayed in a particular hotel and she went to see a couple of waterfalls. Now see, they are all one-off actions. මේ එකපාරක් සිද්ධ වෙච්ච දෙයක් ගැන කතා කරන්නේ, right? ගිය සතියේම මේක වෙන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා නේද? ඒගොල්ලෝ last week ගියා නම් නේ එක දවසක් නුවරඑළියේ ඉඳලා එන්නේ නෑනේ නේද? ටිකක් කල් ඉන්නවනේ නේ දවස් දෙක තුනක්වත්. ඒ දවස් දෙක තුනේම සිද්ධ වෙච්ච දේවල් ගැන ඔන්න මෙයා කතා කරනවා. right? හැබැයි මේ action එක එකපාරයි. right? She went to New Australia. That's lovely. Where did you visit? Where did you visit? Did you visit? Now see, if you can just look at this. Did you visit? Visit. That's the verb stem. Okay, it's not the past tense of visit. Visited kiyanne. Did you visited kiyanne? Where did you visit? We went to Lovers Leap Waterfalls and also to St. Clair's. I loved the scenery there. I loved it. I loved. Past tense. Did it rain? Did it rain during the journey? Did it rain? Did it rained? කියලා අහන්නේ නෑ. Did it rain during the journey? So that's the past tense question form. Oh no, it didn't. It didn't rain at all. Didn't rain. Didn't rained? නෙමෙයි, didn't rain. How about the hotel? Oh, it was lovely. We had a great time in the parks. I even took a lot of photographs of flowers. So look at this. Took, had, was. They are all in past tense. Oh, that's nice. My baby wanted to go to the park. So we went to the Gregory Park. Went, wanted, okay. She rode a pony and also ate a lot of ice cream, which I didn't approve. Didn't approved. Didn't approve. But then I didn't want to spoil her enjoyment. Didn't wanted. Didn't want. Haha, that's great. See you tomorrow. Bye. Okay, so can you see how the simple past tense is used to talk about one-off actions that happened in the past? එක පාරක් වෙච්ච action එකකට විතරයි අපි මේක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. ඒක කාලාන්තරයක් තිස්සේ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි එක පාරයි වෙන්නේ. Right? Now let's go on to the next practical use, and that is when we retell or relate stories. Now I've got this little story from the Aesop fables, right? We normally use the simple past tense when we relate stories, especially when we tell stories to our kids, right? Now let's go through that. In a spell of dry weather, when the birds couldn't find any water to drink, a thirsty crow found a pitcher with a little water in it. Since they couldn't found, they are all past tense. But the pitcher was high and had a narrow neck. And no matter how hard he tried, the crow could not reach the water. The poor thing felt so frustrated. Then an idea came to him. Picking up some small pebbles, he dropped them into the pitcher one by one. With each pebble, the water rose a little higher until at last it was near enough so he could drink. Okay, so this could and couldn't, we'll leave that aside for a moment. Okay, we are going to learn about that. Okay, but then the past tense of can is could. Okay, so it does have a little relationship with this lesson that we are doing, right? So we don't say the birds can, we say the birds couldn't, because this happened in the past. මේක ඉස්සර වෙච්ච දෙයක් හින්දා එකපාරක් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ, right? ඉස්සර වෙච්ච දෙයක් හින්දා ඔන්න අපි කියනවා මේක කියන්නේ අපි simple past tense වලින්. Right. Now let's go on to the business arena, right? අපි දැන් බලමු business setting එකකදී නේද ව්‍යාපාරික පසුබිමකදී කොහොමද අපි මේ past tense එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න කියලා. Right. When you are talking about a one-off event that happened in the past during meetings or as a part of a presentation. So the use is the same, isn't it? මේ පාවිච්චිය පාවිච්චි කරන විදිහටම තමයි, right? අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් පාවිච්චි කරන විදිහටම තමයි අපි මේ ව්‍යාපාරික පසුබිමකදීත් පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ, right? For example, now the boss is asking, if you are in a meeting, right? If you are in a meeting, now the boss is asking, did you make the report regarding the new face mask manufacturing project, Mr. Pereira? Right, now normally that's what your boss asks, isn't it? When you are in a meeting, he asks certain things. He asks whether you did this, whether you did that, isn't it? So very proudly you can say, yes, I made it. Now that should be in the past tense because you made it on a certain date. Right, now let's go on to the other example. Now in a presentation, how can you use it? කොහොමද presentation එකදී අපි මේ past tense එක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ? I would like to commence my presentation with last year's data on කලින් අවුරුද්දේ නේද numbers කලින් අවුරුද්දේ දත්ත අපි දෙනකොට නේ අපිට ඒක past tense වලින් කියන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඒ දත්ත අදාළ වෙන්න ඕනේ එක one off ඒ කියන්නේ එක පාරක් වෙච්ච දෙයකට විතරයි. ඔන්න ඔය one off කියන එක හැමතිස්සෙම මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ, right? Last year, one-off situation, we launched one-off situation, right? The face mask manufacturing project. Last year, on Atita Kaledi, right? We launched one-off situation, the face mask manufacturing project. The machine cost us 5 million rupees. The first batch yielded a profit of 10 million. So the payback period of the machine was just 3 months. We produced the next batch in January. So can you see how we use the past tense? Can you find the past tense words here? Launched, cost, yielded, was, and we produced the produced. Okay, right. So if we are talking about one-off situations in the past, we can use this past tense even in a business context. Okay, now we'll go on to the assignments. Right, so this is assignment number 1. Read the following passage and retell it. Okay, so now next time what you do is, right, we had our Zoom meetings, isn't it? Okay, so next time what you do is retell this to me. Okay, so you have to read it twice and then retell it. You can get ready at home, that's fine, right? Retell this to me next week. Now this is assignment number 2 and you have to listen to this passage well and retell it to me. Mrs. Wilson and Mrs. Smith are sisters. Mrs. Wilson lives in a house in Duncan and Mrs. Smith lives in a condominium in Victoria. One day, Mrs. Wilson visited her sister. When her sister answered the door, Mrs. Wilson saw tears in her eyes. "What's the matter?" she asked. Mrs. Smith said, "My cat Sammy died last night, and I have no place to bury him." She began to cry again. Mrs. Wilson was very sad because she knew her sister loved the cat very much. Suddenly, Mrs. Wilson said, "I can bury your cat in my garden in Duncan, and you can come and visit him sometimes." Mrs. Smith stopped crying and the two sisters had tea together and a nice visit. It was now 5 o'clock and Mrs. Wilson said it was time for her to go home. She put on her hat, coat and gloves, and Mrs. Smith put the dead Sammy into a shopping bag. Mrs. Wilson took the shopping bag and walked to the bus stop. She waited a long time for the bus, so she bought a newspaper. When the bus arrived, she got on the bus, sat down and put the shopping bag on the floor beside her feet. She then began to read the newspaper. When the bus arrived at her bus stop, she got off the bus and walked for about 2 minutes. Suddenly she remembered she had left the shopping bag on the bus. Now this is assignment number 3. Relate a story of your choice. Now next time when we have our Zoom meetings, you can relate a story of your choice, right? Any story that you like. It can be like a story for a small child or a real life story. Okay, so see, it can be a true story, a story related to you or an official event. You can even tell me what happened about some event, an interesting event that you had, okay, in your office that you would like to use on a business presentation, right? Or in any event that you would like to use on a business presentation, okay? Or now for the kids, yes, you can talk about your favorite story, okay? Anyway, so that assignment should be done next week.